Oh, I see that You magazine isn't just for women anymore.
No, absolutely not. It's for guys too.
The new You magazine just came out, and Breanna, our videographer, wrote an article about public access cooking. Show draws a following, so it's kind of cool. So hopefully this will bring even more people to watching our show when they read the magazine.
Hopefully so.
Which is on the newsstand now.
Right, and they're free.
That's the best part.
That's the best part.
Okay,
right.
So I'm going to get started making my next appetizer, so you can keep reading and let me know if Breanna did a nice job.
I'll let you know.
Okay, cool.
All right. Thank you. All right.
So today we're going to make a new appetizer. I have actually not made it, but it's from my friend Kathy Bidorf, and she said it's been a huge hit whenever she's taken it to her, well, in fact, she had their wine tasting group. They were in a wine club, and they had an event a couple of weeks ago, and she brought this, and she said it was a huge hit. So I'm going to call it Kathy's Mascarpone and Gorgonzola Party Spread, and we'll see how good it is. So the recipe calls for using either like an 8-inch or 10-inch plate, which you could use like a plate this size or a larger plate, depending on how thick or how thin you want the mascarpone cheese. But I'm going to use my standby because I'm taking this to our kids this weekend when we go to visit. So I'm not going to use the whole container. But the mascarpone cheese comes in an 8-ounce container, and it's sweeter than cream cheese. And I'm just going to spread this in the first layer, so you can take it out of your container. If you were using the 8-inch or 10-inch plate, you'd probably want to take the whole, use the whole container. So we are just going to spread this on the bottom. Kathy said you can, spread it either thin if you're using that larger plate, or thick if you're using a smaller 8-inch plate. So depending on how many people, how many guests you're planning to have at your party will depend on what size plate, or if you want to have leftovers too. I always like using new recipes, and it seems like the tried and tested recipes from your friends or when you go to a party are usually the best ones. And it's always nice to have some feedback from other people as to whether or not the recipe is going to be a good one. So this is the first layer. And that's kind of thick, but I think that should be just right. Okay, so my second layer calls for 3 tablespoons of honey. So, and it says Kathy says she just kind of spreads it, takes it on, measures it, and then just puts it on her top next layer, the mascarpone layer, and then just kind of drizzles it like that. So I think for a pan this size, we're just going to use 2 tablespoons. And when you get used to making the recipe, you could probably just drizzle it right out of the container without putting it in your measuring spoon at all. Okay, and then you just spread this around like this. I had never thought of using a recipe like this. I use the mascarpone cheese in my tiramisu. That's actually the only time that I've ever used it. So it'll be interesting to see how this tastes. Okay, so my second layer is done, and then my third layer is going to be Gorgonzola cheese crumbles. And you can also use blue cheese. And I did a little research on this, and there's some differences with the Gorgonzola versus the blue cheese. The Gorgonzola is actually made in Italy, or that's kind of where it started, and it's softer when you crumble it versus the blue cheese. I'm not a blue cheese fan. Gary has always loved blue cheese. He likes blue cheese on his pizza, or he always liked blue cheese salad dressing, you know, whenever you'd go out, you know, like to eat. If he had a choice, he would take blue cheese. And I actually made blue cheese one time. A friend of ours gave us some blue cheese and we made it, and it's kind of amazing because I put it in my Tupperware shaker, and in between the time that you would use it and it just sitting in the refrigerator, it's like all of this gas kind of builds up, and it just the cover just about explodes when you take it off. So it's pretty powerful. So that's the third step. And then the next step is to cover it with walnuts, and that calls for 3/4 of a cup. But I think with this size plate, we're going to put about 1/2 of a cup on there, and I think that should be good. Just spread those around a little bit. Get a couple more, just sprinkle on. And Kathy said now when she makes it, because she's made it quite a few times, she doesn't bother measuring most of these things. She just puts them on and gets it the right, you know, consistency that she wants. And then the last step is 3/4 of a cup of craisins. And then you just top your craisins on top of your walnuts. And if this is as good as it is simple to use, it's going to be a big hit, I'm sure. And our kids enjoy blue cheese, so I have a feeling they're really going to like this. That should be good. And then what Kathy said is she has found this package. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Ile de France, and they're grilled Parisian mini toasts. And these my husband was able to get at Festival Foods, and they're in the specialty cheese section, and they're just little crackers that are like, almost like Melba toast. When he said, should I get Melba toast, I didn't realize that's really about what it's like, is the Melba toast. And then she just puts the crackers around the edge like that, and then when you have this at your party, then people can just help themselves to the crackers. That becomes the serving utensil, actually, and we'll just finish covering those later. And that is our quick and easy Kathy's Mascarpone and Gorgonzola party spread. So now, if Gary is through reading that You magazine, I'm going to let him come over and taste one of these crackers.
Sure can. I'm not done reading the magazine. Not done reading the magazine yet, but...
So you ready for my autograph yet?
Well, close to it. I did read a very important article. I noticed there was a young lady in here who was on Public Access Cooking channel, and it's... I don't know if you heard of her. Her name is Ruth.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, right.
There's your cracker. I actually use the knife, but you can just dip in too. So did you get some cranberries and walnuts and everything on there? Mm-hmm. Or do you need another one to taste? Maybe one more, just to make sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how's the blue cheese?
Can always use more blue cheese. The more blue cheese, the better. No,
okay, how's that?
Oh, fantastic.
Is it perfect?
The first one was fantastic, and this is just going to be just to make sure that it is,
that is good.
What we claim it to be. It is fabulous.
Okay. Sounds good? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, from a slice of heaven, with Gary helping me as my taste tester again, I hope you've enjoyed this segment, and I hope that you enjoy Kathy's party spread. So, happy cooking. Is that good? Okay, we'll put it right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
To your loving husband.
I'll just sign it.
I love it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.